You have done well, my Cerebrit. The Protoss can do nothing but flee before the onslaught of the swarm. But now you must assault one final site before our conquest is assured. Behold, there is a temple not far from here that lies upon ground most hallowed. Though I have borne witness to the passing of countless millennia, the temple which you must assault is older by far. For it was constructed by my creators, the Xel'Naga, and it marks the site where the Xel'Naga first set foot upon Aiur. The temple must be cleared, and the Kadaran crystal set in its place. Only then shall the way be made ready, for it is upon that ground alone that I may be manifest.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Starcraft, and welcome to the final Zerg mission, Full Circle. We are looking to implant the Overmind itself on the surface of Aiur. The Overmind can only be made manifest at the site of the first Xel'Naga temple, and it's one of the few mentions that we've had so far of the Xel'Naga. They will become a bigger and bigger and bigger part of the overall storyline as the games develop. But suffice it to say, the Xel'Naga created both of the Protoss and the Zerg. So this is a war that is millennia in its happening, basically. This is a very large map. If you thought the map last time was large, this map is even bigger. We're against 3 huge Protoss fleets. We start ourselves out we start out pretty well developed, actually. We have 2 massive mineral fields. We have 2 hatcheries. I'm going to build a 3rd hatchery as well, which will be up near the Vespene refinery. I still don't know how the Overmind plans to implant itself onto... Well, I know how it plans to implant itself on Aiur, but I still don't get how it is going to try and assimilate the entirety of the Protoss into itself. Because, as we've already mentioned, Protoss cannot be infested. So that's the one sort of area that I'm not entirely sure of as of the StarCraft 1 storyline. As of StarCraft 2 and all the retconning that's been done, it kind of makes a bit more sense. But obviously that we don't know that at this time. But just for, you know, we have been told that there is no such thing as an infested Protoss. Although I think that in one of the magazines there was a sort of really weird infestation due to the fact of some sort of mutated creep or something like that. But as far as the Zerg go, there are no infested Protoss. Okay, so we have a shuttle coming over at the moment. Hydralisk's just going to open fire on that. I'm going to build a 3rd hatchery because I'm going to want to mine as efficiently as possible out of that Vespene geezer. So yeah, going 3 hatch immediately is pretty... we're going to be getting a lot of lava. Should mean that we should be droning up very quickly. And I'm going to create a spawning pool so I can put some defences up ASAP, because the Protoss really do come at you quite hard on this mission. You know, they have access to the entire range of their technology and they are not really afraid to use it. So we have to be extremely careful. Okay, you can go Evo Chamber, and the next one can go Hydra Den. I definitely want Evo Chamber fairly early for this because I will be wanting spore colonies. The Protoss attacks in this mission will tend to be from the air, and they will use both scouts and carriers, so I will definitely want some spore colonies up as well. I can't build Hydra Den yet because the spawning pool hasn't finished mutating in. another shuttle. And still no huge deal at this point. We should be doing okay. And I'll get melee attack considering I've got that Ultralisk and I've got the 3 Zerglings there. The thing that kind of irritates me is I'm going to make the mistake in this mission that I said I wouldn't make in the previous mission, and that is I'm going to go with a 1 unit composition for my original attack, and that makes things, let's just say it makes things difficult. The first Protoss base that I want to take out is to my direct left. Now, one thing that will happen in this mission, you will get Vespene starved, and I mean it. You will get Vespene starved big time in this mission. You'll have an overflow of minerals like you can't believe, but Vespene is going to be very hard to get hold of. The first 2 bases, maybe even 3 that you will take, the Vespene will be mined out. So you are going to be pretty limited, and I imagine I'm going to have to be on 4, maybe even 5 bases in order to properly get my endgame, which by now you guys know what that endgame is. So we've got, as you can see, 3 hatcheries, so we're able to drone up really quickly. So this should help us a great deal in terms of getting developed. Hydroden and some more expansion. Zealot just ponderously walking into the base, and Zealot ponderously dying. And there's an observer there which is probably also going to die. No, I can't be bothered. It can live for now. Start mining Vespene. Probably get a second Evo chamber if I really wanted to at this point as well. I think the best course of action though at this point is to upgrade to Lair and move towards getting a Spire. Also it'll allow me to get level 2 upgrades. Going for some Lings at the beginning just gives me a little bit of a force to work with. And I have research speed, and I'm researching +1 attack for the Lings, so I think that that'll be I think that that's fairly decent to start off with. Overlord going down, and upgrading into Lair, yeah, that's fine. Because I want to be able to build a Spire fairly quickly as well. Okay, let's get 12 Lings moving, and you can see immediately the Protoss are attacking with scouts already, and I can't really hold them off at this point, so I've got to just spam out some. Oh, and that Overlord hasn't been done yet. I've got to make some Overlord. I've got to make some Hydras quickly. I could make a Spore colony at the front, I suppose. Come on, where's that? Is that Overlord out yet? Yeah, finally. Okay, let's get these. Get these guys moving before this gets this causes too much damage. I'm going to need Hydralisks anyway, so it's a fairly decent bet to do things this way, but this has been a pretty devastating attack already, and that was just 2 scouts, and I could definitely have researched Hydralisk first, but it looks like the scouts have gone after my Ultralisk rather than going after my Zerglings, and I'm perfectly happy with them doing that. That is fine. A scout is not going to be able to take out my Ultralisk without some backup. And now I've got 4 or 5 Hydralisks here. This scout is going to go down. So we kind of got away with that, I would say. As you can see, the Ultralisk wasn't really too bothered with the scout attack. So that's the original attack anyway, but you're going to want Hydras in this mission. You're going to want lots of Hydras. You're going to want Overlords to go with your Hydras as well. Because getting supply blocked at that point was really bad. Okay, and research 1-1 for +1 attack for the Hydralisks. And we've got the Lair now as well, so we can also think about moving towards Spire tech, but I'm still... My first priority is to take out that base on the left, and I really should go Ling... I should go Ling Hydra for that. But once again, I end up going just Hydras, and even though I'm not up against Reavers, the Lings tanking some of the damage for the Hydras would be an awful lot better, I think, rather than just going straight up Hydra. This is fairly fast going for that, but I have moved some of my forces out here, and we can see where the Protoss base is. Why are my guys not taking out that Dragoon? Oh, okay, there we go. I love the way the Zealot got confused there. It's like, I'm going to go back. Oh, God, that's not good. No, I can go for it. No, that's not good either. So, okay, this army composition should be okay. Probably want a few more Lings, though, if I'm right on this, if I want to get my army through there. I've just got drones sitting around there. I think they're waiting for the... Yeah, morph in more Hydras. I think that they are waiting for me to go advanced structures. Here we go, yeah. Spire time. Spire numero uno. And I think I'm also going to build a couple of spore colonies there as well. I have moved out at this point. Hydras are going to be where I'm going, and these two can both morph into spore colonies. Because I'm super vulnerable to scouts at the moment, and I need the ability to be able to defend them. And at the moment there are a couple just floating around where the Protoss base is. And we'll evolve level 1 Carapace as well, just to give my units a bit more survivability. And spore colonies will also find it. They will also find observers if they're around. If my overlords have fallen asleep or whatever. So we're almost there with the Spire. Spore colonies are up, good. They're defensive Hydralisks which I've made. And we're going to just go straight up the ramp. And we're going to attack well into the base, because this will allow me to get up the ramp. And one of the big problems with this attack certainly is getting up the ramp. Dropping is a little bit worrisome, because if you go for a drop, you run the risk of attracting the attention of a scout and a carrier on the... a few scouts and a carrier on the other side, and I don't really want their attention. Oh, I've got their attention though, but it looks like the Hydras can hold the interceptors off at this point. They are destroying the interceptors, and as I said before, a carrier without interceptors is useless, so I'm actually okay with the way that went down. I don't need to follow this carrier out. Let's just head back in. Let's head back in, guys. Again, getting stuck on the ramp. But I think my forces are a little bit too overwhelming for this. The Lings going in there first did provide a nice distraction. That was certainly a nice distraction from them. There's not going to be many of them left, but I am going to be able to clean up this Protoss base. I'm not going to get too much from it. I'm only going to get another... I'm only going to get another Vespene refinery, really, but it shouldn't be... it shouldn't be too bad. And oh, scouts. But it's okay, this is what I built the spore colonies for, and between spore colonies and Hydralisk, scouts really don't have much of a chance. I should be pulling my Hydras back now behind the spore colonies. Oh, it's okay, the scouts decided to move forward. There's an you can actually see a ripple there. That ripple is caused by a observer. And even though we can see the ripple, it doesn't mean that you know where the ship is. So there's some mutas. trying desperately to keep my forces up, but it's kind of difficult when you're a little bit starved. We are still on one base, even though that first base is exceedingly well designed, as it were. You know, there's a lot of work gone into it. Or shall we say, there's a lot of minerals there. I'm going to take one of my drones and build a hatchery over here once I've killed this nexus. You can see a good amount of minerals over here, which is cool. That drop did a lot of good. Oh, 4 zealots this time. Do they even get 1 kill? No. Okay, fine. But you can see there's minerals absolutely everywhere on this map, but Vespene gas is in severely short, you know, is severely limited. And I'm not too sure I'm going to be able to get to Guardians off what I have at the moment. But building Mutalisks is fine. You know, I'm making sure that I at least have Mutalisks or have forces on the field here. And yeah, this is where it turns out the game has some bad news for me. Now obviously you can wait as long as you want to, because yeah, there you go, bad news, 116 Vespenes, all that's left. So we're going to head over now to the west and see what's available. What we have is a lot of photon cannons on high ground. That's bad news. I probably could take it. If I floated an Overlord up to give me high ground vision, I could probably take that. But for the moment, I'm okay just clearing up the immediate area. And I don't know if I can drop in there. I really don't. So the thing is, if you've got no Vespene gas, you will still be able to mine some from 2 busted geezers. You know, you'll get 4. You will get like 4 every rotation. So eventually you'll do okay on Vespene. But it's still really not enough. Let's do some scouting with a Mutalisk and just see what's what. There is a lot of sort of empty and open ground in this area. So let's just see what is going on. Trying to find out where the next Protoss... I'm trying to find like the edges of the Protoss base so I know where to attack. Well, this doesn't look like a big base the Protoss have here. Oh, Starport, I see. Right. So what I have to do is bust that position. Now, I can definitely do it with Mutas. I'm evolving a hive, but you can see how this is incredibly slow doing it this way. And we're under attack by a pretty sizable force of Zealots here. And they're going to cause a lot of damage. Fortunately, they are completely dead to Mutas, so... But I don't think... Did my Mutas manage to get them before they... No, the final Zealot just managed to get in enough damage to kill my sunken colony. That's irritating. It's alright, I'll just rebuild it. And I'll replace whatever drones were lost there, but... Just these little inconveniences just setting me back, and the fact that it's so slow to work as well. There's no way I can go Guardian at this point. I mean, I could, but it would be about 3 weeks next Wednesday. So, back to it, back to mining, and yeah, I'm just going to drone up and get back to mining for the moment, because I don't think the Protoss are going to attack me again for a little bit. 3 more Mutalisks, but god, this is hurting for how long it's taking. It's like, this is seriously hurting for how long it's taking. But I guess if you have to do something, you just have to do it slowly sometimes. Okay, let's replace that sunken colony, and let's just keep droning. Right, so I've got a few lings together here. These are just to act as a scout force. I have some chuck away minerals, so... I just want to see what is around this area. I don't want to risk a Mutalisk because that's like 100 gas when you do that. No, the one thing I don't want to do is play the game blind, or like play this level blind. And although I know sort of what's going on, I like to have a little bit of a view to, you know, I like to have a view of seeing what's going on here.
Our forces are under attack.
Oh, and I'm under attack up here, but that's okay. It's 3 scouts against a force of 1 billion. That's a carrier. That is a carrier. Right, now I've got to control them and focus fire them. I'm going to focus fire the carrier, because scouts have pretty pathetic ground-to-air capability. So, as long as I can take the carrier down, I really don't care. Sorry, scouts have pathetic air-to-ground, that is. So, as long as I can take the carrier, I don't mind. Come on! God, how much health does that thing have? Right, okay, so that kills off the carrier, but I've only got 1 Hydra left. So now the scout's going to harass that, so that's annoying. I've got to pull all my Mutalisks in order to deal with this. Oh, jeez, this is so irritating. Well, the Mutas will clear that up, and let's keep looking. Really big mineral patch here, but what's the betting there's no Vespene gas? Yep, you are correct there. Oh, God. Well, I think you really want stuff that's anti-air in this mission, but you can't afford to have a load of anti-air stuff. You know, this mission, actually, took something like an hour and 40 minutes, I think, to do, and it's being condensed into this 50-minute video for you. So you can kind of tell that there was a lot of sort of almost sitting around doing nothing on this mission, because there's literally nothing you can do. You just have to, you know, you have to have the force to break a position like that, and if you can't break a position like that, you're in trouble. Now, because I don't have the Vespene gas to break, to use Guardians to break this, I'm just going straight in with Mutalisks. So it will just, Mutalisks will just have to do. And to be honest, they're not doing a bad job. They are doing a perfectly fine job. And this Vespene geezer is mined out as well, but that will be another one, and we'll be, you know, we'll have the Vespene at that point to save up and go Guardian. Protoss units do a lot of damage, though. You know, each individual Protoss unit is threatening. The Dragoon does 20 damage with its shot, and that's to everything. So, you know, it's a pretty good unit. I think the Zealot beats it in terms of overall, like... It beats it in a lot of circumstances, the Dragoon, but... It's certainly... For the amount it costs, you know, because Dragoons do cost a lot more than Zealots. I don't know about a lot more, but they do cost more than Zealots. I think that Zealots might be slightly superior in terms of bang for buck. But, God, I told you to get over here. How many years does it take you? There we go. Disobedient mutas. That Stargate is going down. I hate facing Protoss air units. It's really, they're really good. Scouts are just completely unmatched in air-to-air combat. It's just lucky that the Protoss are only producing them one at a time, rather than what I would do under a lot of it, which is just build 2 starports, spam scouts of them, out of them, kill all my overlords, and then just waltz all over my ground. Well, the thing is, even though a Hydra is good against a scout. Like a group of scouts will one-shot a Hydra and just keep doing it constantly, and eventually the Hydras will lose effective DPS on them. So it depends. You need a swarm of Hydras to take on like 12 scouts. And so it's all about, with certainly when you're playing as the Protoss, which hopefully I'll be able to show up when I start the Protoss campaign. It's basically using everything as efficiently as you can, because you can't just spam stuff out, because you're limited by supply and how much stuff costs, and you know, Protoss stuff is expensive. So as you can see, this guy's is depleted as well, so we have to... You know, we're going to still build there, because any gas at this point is good gas. It's like any gas. Just give me gas. Oh, and here come the Zealots again, having caught me off guard yet again. I do have some mutas in base though, and they can sort this out hopefully. And I've got a few more. Colonies, as it were, so we can. Well, I've got a couple more colonies, so we can deal with this attack an awful lot easier than we dealt with the first attack from Zealots. Well, you can definitely see how the Protoss are putting us under more pressure this time round than they did the first time. Well, we should very soon be able to morph into Guardians, and then we should be able to close the level out. Oh, they rebuilt the Vespene refinery just to troll me. Well, I have the Greater Hive, should I want to go... yeah, should I want to go Guardian aspect? And I think I just want to clear out the remnants of the Protoss on this level. Oh, shield battery, that's interesting. Kill this cannon. I think this is it for the teal Protoss, if I am correct. Certainly not got anything left with which they can threaten me, put it that way. And wait a minute, I see something down there. There's a blue something. Oh, Templar! There is a blue something down there. Let's find out what that is. Well, I've almost mined out my main, so... Having said that, though, minerals I am fine for. Yeah, I am fine for minerals. But what do we have up here? Oh! Is that a Vespene refinery? It's a Vespene geyser, and it's full! It's full! I have Vespene gas again! Yeah, screw building the base down there. Get up here and get this base. I'm actually going to take both of them, but obviously in my enthusiasm, as it says, oh my god, it's SP gas. It's Vespene gas. It is a full... It's a full Vespene geyser, and I finally have access to it. So this is what happens when I have access to 3 depleted Vespene geysers and a full Vespene geyser. We are guardianed up. We are completely guardianed up, and Protoss, it is time. I've also built a lot more Mutalisks. Like, your time has come, Protoss. I now have the economy to do... I now have the economy to officially go endgame. Oh, crap. Tell you what, the yellow Protoss are so going down. It's like, they're going to be... I think they're the first target anyway, but they will be my first target, because... I'm actually going to take down the scouts first, because my flyers are 3-3, and I believe interceptors only do 8 damage, so therefore if you've got 3 armor, you do a lot they do a lot less damage to you than they normally would. Whereas scout missiles, I think they do 32 damage, so you know, 3 armor, and they do 29 damage. They're still kicking the crap out of me. Right, okay. I got this. It's Guardian time, boys. We're going to wipe out the teal. We're going to finish with the teal Protoss. I think that they're pretty much dead anyway, but... you know, make them understand the depth of their mistake. Well, I suppose that if the Overmind somehow comes up with the ability to infest the Protoss, I suppose dying would be better than infestation. And also, the Protoss things burn blue. I think that's awesome. Like, it's blue and it's burning. And that's the end of that, so we just wander over this massive mineral patch that's over here at the top. It's like, yeah, because look, if you look at that, what we really need at this point is minerals. Right, Guardians, let's go. Remember, our objective here is to take out the temple and then place the Kidaran crystal there. So, admittedly, it's like, oh, you could just rush for the temple. Yeah, that would kill the temple, fine. You know, that would kill the temple, absolutely. But it would not, you know, it wouldn't win us the mission. And if we lost too much making that rush, then there would be issues. But I'm going to be very careful when doing this. I'm going to do a lot of sweeps, shall I say. I'm basically going to sweep from one side to the other using Guardians, and that is going to be quite slow. So there's going to be a little bit of cutting here, I would imagine. Because, you know, I want to make sure that there's nothing behind me. Nothing in the way of my drone when it starts going. I just don't want anything at all to be able to stop what I'm doing. So I park myself in the middle of the map, and I am just going to keep morphing in. And the world's latest second evolution chamber, but I figure I might as well finish off all the upgrades at this point. I have the economy to do it. And there's not really too much standing in my way, as it were, at that point. And yeah, why not? Ultralisk Cavern. I will be able to afford Ultralisks. And we want to give the drone a proper escort, don't we? And like, Ultralisks seem like a pretty good escort. There we go. So, yep, upgrade melee attacks, because if I'm going Ultralisks, melee attack. I'm not too sure if I want to do adrenal glands, because I don't think I'm going to be creating any more Zerglings, so that just seems like wasted money. scouts being annoying as usual. And we find the yellow Protoss. My enemy. The one who keeps sending carriers after me. But you'd be surprised, there is still a lot of open ground between me and the Protoss temple here. I'd have thought that the Protoss base would have started like here and it would just be solid all the way to the temple. But that doesn't seem to be the way that it is. My Mutalists have decided not to follow, so let's make them follow. I'm just picking off some units while I can, just pick them off cheaply. The last thing you want to have happen is them all sort of rally around you, sort of gang up on you. And that can happen for sure, but I would rather, you know, I would rather sort of avoid it for now. And again, while I'm doing my sweeps with the Guardians, I decided to cut that out a little bit. I think there's another Vespene Geyser there, so we can definitely take that as well, but I don't think it's going to be necessary. We're just going to do our thing here. Our attack force is more than strong enough now. It's like our attack force is good. We've got money in the bank in case things go wrong. I can do 3/3 upgrades if I want to at this point as well. Just make sure everything is good. Yeah, Guardians are definitely sort of the slow death march in this game. If you remember the Korra from Star Control 2, that death march they did, yeah, same sort of thing. It's just like Guardians making sure that nothing is left. I think they even kind of look like the Korra if you look at their portrait. So let's keep going. I'm anticipating seeing scouts and carriers because that's all they've been throwing at me for the entire game, so... These Dragoons are taking a battering before going down, but... I love how I'm like floating just on the high ground here. So the Protoss really can't get to my Guardians. Oh, they're producing out of that starport. Kill it. Kill it, kill everything. Kill the pylon. Do whatever you need to do. Shut that starport down. Well, that didn't do it, so now we're just going to have to bomb the starport into it. Oh, well, that's just obnoxious. Still, it'll take that scout an awful long time to deal with that. Oh, they got one of my Guardians. Upsetting times. Considering the amount of damage that I've done, I will take one Guardian losses. They're just... The thing about the AI is the AI just doesn't ever form its units into like a super cohesive unit, so just swarm tactics do take out the AI really easily. If you're worried about what's going on at the bottom right of the screen, I think there's a carrier there, but I have a backup force of 12 Mutalisks engaging it, so there's not really much problems there. Yep, it's a carrier, but this is a huge force. And once again, my Mutalisks have got distracted by shiny things. Just kill the carrier, please. Anything else is secondary. But you can see the carrier's fully upgraded to 3/3 now, so it does take... it takes quite a bit of pounding from those blade burns, but... It's gone, and let's replace the Mutalist that we lost. Simples. Okay, we're getting closer and closer to the temple now. And almost to the end of the Zerg campaign. I almost felt like putting a troll out for this video. It's like, especially since the last video was an hour long, I was tempted in this video just to put a black screen saying, I go mute a Guardian again, figure it out. But I figured that it'd actually be better for you guys to see it. Let's make sure we don't get Psy-stormed. And I guess we can start bombing the temple. It's not really a very impressive temple, is it? It's like a... I think the Great Pyramids at Giza are more impressive than that. That or Archons are like 6 stories tall. Could be either.
Seraphit, the Protoss have launched a final offensive to keep us from the ruins. You must hold them at bay for a while longer.
Well, to be fair, there's not much that the Protoss have left in order to launch a final offensive with, but in the spirit of complete and utter genocide, I am going to, I will happily clear the area around the temple. There is a red Protoss up at the top, but it's really not a threat. So I'm going to leave that alone. You're free to, if you're playing this, you are free to destroy it at your own will. But at this point, the Protoss have had their back broken for this mission, so I'm just going to spend some time doing some sweeping and delivering some final thoughts on what I think of it's like to play the Zerg. I actually enjoy playing the Zerg. I think that they're a bit one-dimensional in the AI campaign. You just get air as soon as you can. Vespene is what you're after more than anything else. I think that's the way that you want to go, but I just feel like you just go the same route every single mission. And I mean, said that though, this might be a blight on Starcraft itself that every mission ends, or real-time strategy on the whole that every mission. So once you get the whole tech tree open to you, you find something that works for you against the AI, and you pretty much just always use it. And yeah, I could, in theory, have come ramming in here with Ultralisks if I'd have wanted to, but I don't think that would have been as effective. You don't have as much, you don't have as much movement autonomy. And this is a big base, this Protoss base. I do like how they managed to sort of personalise the swarm without making it, without them having to sort of justify everything they do. Because there always seems to be a... the Overmind is a much deeper character than... And the Swarm's motivations are a lot deeper than just, you will be one with us, and... you see that the Overmind is a kind of thinking being, as it were, and you try and get behind its motivations. Because the Overmind won't be used to, you see the Zerg as a lot more than just slavering beasts, because, yeah, here we go. I'm just going to give the, let's see, let's give it a nice escort, so... there, and Ultralisks, Ultralisks. Right, so that should be a decent enough, escort for it. I could have made about 9 million Zerglings there, I suppose, as well. It's like you will have the smallest of escort. So it's like you will have a lot of dogs as your escort. But here you go, this is... I think this removes their ability to build Templar, so they're the one thing that could potentially threaten me. I feel the AI's better than I am at using Templar. I mean, I'm gonna have to get used to it somewhat, but we shall see. I may not even use them, I may just go Carrier. The Protoss are going to be very different to play. Very, very different to play than the Zerg. I think that I like some of the Protoss stuff. The way they build stuff, for example, is really efficient. You know, you can use one probe to build an entire base, sort of thing. And I do like that. However, I'm not looking forward to the fact I probably have to macro a bit more than I... sorry, not macro, micro more than I do now. Because you really need to be as efficient as you can be with Protoss units. Because Protoss units are awesome, but you can't afford to lose a bucket load of them. And we're coming up on... You can see the huge sort of stream coming up the middle of the map now. And anything Protoss has been removed from that area. So we are about to see the demise of the... Well, maybe not, but we are about to see the Overmind be made manifest on Aiur. And that cannot possibly be good for the Protoss. You can see the red Protoss up there at the top. I'm just going to leave them alone. I will come for them soon enough after this mission, but it is not necessary for me to take them out now. Just want to make sure that the path is clear, and then I'll bring all my flyers back. Yeah, there's the red Protoss. I will ignore them. And here we go. The drone is going to make its way towards the former temple site, which we have somehow completely blasted off the map. Well, that's desperate. And did you have to get involved right now? Just sit over there and do your thing. And we'll follow the drone in, and we will be done with the Zerg. So, it's been fun, and we will see how the Protoss react to all this, because I highly doubt that they have... that this has happened to them in their entire history.
Now shall the events set into motion so long ago be made complete. For the Protoss too were created by the Xel'Naga. They were the first creation, gifted with a purity of form, and we were the second creation, blessed with a purity of essence. Indeed, our two species are but opposite facets of a greater whole. Soon shall our two races be made as one. Thenceforth shall all feel the wrath of the eternal swarm. For the hour of judgment is come.
The Overmind sure knows how to make a speech, doesn't he? And with that, the Zerg campaign is now at an end. And we will pick it up next time with the Protoss trying to defend against what we have seen here. You'll notice here the red Protoss have got a shed load of resources, but they've not produced anything at all. Weird, but long mission, tough mission, but it's all said and done and we won. So I will see you next time, guys. Thank you very much for watching.